Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift is the story of Lamel Gulliver, an Englishman trained as a surgeon who takes to the seas when his business fails. On his first voyage, he wakes up after a shipwreck to find that he is on the island of Lilliput, where he is bound by small people who are not afraid to use violence to protect their kingdom. He is given food and water and allowed to go talk to the emperor. The emperor asks if Gulliver can help him fight his enemy by using his size to overpower them. Once he has done this, he comes back to Lilliput as a hero, but this does not last long because he is convicted of treason for putting out a fire in the royal palace with his urine and condemned to be shot in the eyes and starved to death. Before this happens, Gulliver escapes to the enemy island, where he finds a boat and they help him repair it so that he can sail back to England. After staying in England with his family for 2 months, Gulliver goes on another journey to Brobdingnag, or known as the Land of the Giants. He is discovered by a field worker and is kept only for amusement until he is sold to the Queen of the Kingdom. Social life is easy for Gulliver after its discovery because people find him very interesting. Gulliver is repulsed by the physicality of the people because all the ordinary flaws that they have are magnified due to their huge size. And he has very many conversations with the King of the Kingdom about the type of government there is in England and what type of laws they have. Eventually, Gulliver is built a ship so that he is able to go back to England with it to see his. After returning to England, Gulliver sets sail again, and this time he's attacked by pirates who leave him on an island. And he is picked up by a floating island inhabited by academics who oppress the lands below. The scientific research being done seems to be totally impractical, and its citizens don't seem to understand what is really going on. While he is there, he is able to witness the conjuring of figures from history, such as Julius Caesar and other military leaders. He does not find these people as impressive as they are described in books because he is able to ask them questions about what they believe. After this, he's able to go down to the land where he is able to get to the Japan to sail back. On his fourth and final voyage, Gulliver sets out as captain of a ship, but after his crew turn on him, he is confined to his cabin and he arrives in an unknown land. The land is populated by rational-thinking horses who rule, and by brutish human-looking creatures who serve the horses. Gulliver learns the language so that he can talk about his many voyages and explain the constitution of England to the horse. He is treated with great courtesy and kindness by the horses and is enlightened by the many conversations they have, and he is able to learn much about their culture. He wants to stay with them, but his naked body reveals to the horses that he's very much like the brutish human-like creatures. So they make him leave, but they build him a canoe so that he can get to a nearby island. He is picked up by a Portuguese ship captain who treats him very well, but Gulliver cannot help seeing the captain and all humans like the brutish human-like creatures that were on the island. Gulliver concludes that since he visited all of these lands, that all of them now belong to England. After Gulliver's many voyages, his view on the world, and specifically humanity, has changed because he has been able to interact with many different people who live differently from he does. And when he's able to talk to the leaders of these kingdoms, he understands that they do things very differently than what goes on in England. Especially when he talks to the horses, he gets a really good idea of what is going on because they question a lot of what goes on in England. And when he leaves there, he starts to realize that all humans are kind of alike, and that they don't really seem to think much about what they're doing, and that it's not something that is just happening in England. It's kind of something that's happening in all of humanity.